It's literally...
Okay, let's get into it, babies. Hey, we're back. Season 2. Let's fucking get it.
Fuck!
Oh, fuck me running. All right.
The following is a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Names, characters, businesses, places, and incidents are either products of the Dungeon Master's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblances to actual persons living or dead or any actual events are purely coincidental. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Welcome to Season 2, folks. You might be wondering how we got here.
Let me pull up the... Okay, so for the year in between the actual Season 2 and the year that you guys combine the worlds and all that, a lot of stuff is going to happen. So we're going to play a little mini game. It's a little bit combination of like any Roll20 system and Tyler...
Powered by the Apocalypse.
Apocalypse system? Powered by the Apocalypse system. So essentially, we're going to do hard and soft moves. If you never like played Powered by the Apocalypse, essentially the DM doesn't roll anything. They just kind of narratively describe things and set challenges and that kind of thing, make skill checks. And depending on how they roll, essentially, that's where the D20 system comes in. And instead of like, there's like hard moves that you roll for, essentially, in Powered by Apocalypse. In this one, it's going to be degrees of success, essentially. And that will be by D20 and not by D6. Yeah, so by this year, you guys are going to have different character sheets. Instead of just like hit points and damage, you guys are going to be like growing and working on and fixing certain aspects of yourselves. And so I kind of broke that down into, I have a personal philosophy that like the human trinity. So you have your mind, body, and spirit. And so I kind of applied that to this, where you have certain characteristics like constitution, dexterity, and strength that make up your body, intelligence, technology I put in there because I made technology, might as well toss that in there, and wisdom that makes up your mind. And then your spirit is wisdom, charisma, and constitution, which would be like wisdom, that would be like spirit saves and that kind of deal. And so that's how I kind of combined and broke down your various skills. And I took like aspects of your characters too. Like Wes, I specifically texted Tyler and I was like, is Wes good looking or is he like a more roguish, charismatic person? So I applied a little bit of his charisma to his mind because he said he wasn't like good looking, but he like, you know, that kind of deal. So that is why you guys have your character sheets. Just a quick breakdown. Julie has 8 body, 5 mind, 7 spirit. Wes has 6 body, 6 mind, 7 spirit. Cash has 7 body, 6 mind, and 7 spirit. That being said, when you take inflictions or growth is what essentially you guys can do. You'll either take negative to those statistics or positive. So say you get, shot at and you get hit. You take -1 body. Or you do well and you train yourself, you can take +1 body. And so that kind of helps with the growth that you guys will have over the year. If you hit 1 on body, mind, or spirit, you get an infliction. Okay, you can either choose an infliction or a penalty. The penalties are permanent things that will stick with your character throughout the game. So penalties are like you miss a limb. That's one of the penalties you can choose, where you essentially just lose a ligament or a leg or something along those lines. You can be burned, crippled, for your mind, like weakened. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you guys can take that are specific characteristics of your character after this year is over into the actual season 2 story arcs and whatnot. So when you're hurt, when you hit 1 on either body, mind, or spirit, your character has a chance to reset. So if you hit 1 on a characteristic, you can either choose an infliction or a penalty. An infliction is something that's not permanent, but if you hit 1 again, then you gain a penalty. And these inflictions have things that affect your, in the game year rolls and whatnot. But you guys don't actually get to see what these inflictions are. I have, broken bone, bleeding, concussed for body, frightened, anxious, traumatized. I have different things, but you guys can't choose what the actual, thing it does to you is. I have a chart of what each one does, obviously. But I want you guys to choose those off of narrative if you decide to go for infliction. Another part of being hurt is growth, because every time we are hurt, we have the opportunity to grow. So if instead you don't choose an infliction and choose a permanent penalty, you get a growth point. Growth points are what you will use to buy, quote unquote, different things you'll grow into. So I have ability score improvements. I have feats. There's assets, which are little items that you guys can have going into your future seasons. And then if you get 10 body, 10 mind, and 10 spirit, which is a lot, I don't know if that'll actually happen, but you actually have the opportunity to get a level, a whole character level.
Hey, so O'Neill, the term 2 body growth points upsets me.
Well, Tyler, I'm going to have to tell you to fucking suck it up. So inflictions, growth, and then the penalties are permanent things that will stick with your characters. And then healing, over time, you can kind of heal your characters. If you're negative, if you're at 2 body and you want to heal up, you can go to a doctor and there's a roll that I'll have you make for it to see how many points you heal up. You can only do it once per arc. That will happen in the actual story. So that'll give you time to heal up some of those more negative characteristics. So that way you're not constantly getting penalties, because some of these penalties can be crippling. Not crippling. None of them are super terrible, but some of them can be bad. And you guys can see the penalties you get to choose, so I'm not going to hide those from you. You guys can decide for your characters what you want to have going in the future.
I think it's also worth mentioning that what happens in the years is informed by what we told you.
Yes, that is very true. Yeah, you guys, I essentially interviewed you guys, asked you guys what you want to accomplish during the year. I kind of have some stuff for you to kind of figure out, but I took ideas that you sent me, and I kind of spun them into actual events that you can do. So we'll have a lot of that going forward. All right. So let's hop into this year, man. Here we go. All right. So the worlds collided at the end of November, which was a crazy, catastrophic event. Phaeton and Gaia collided together. Although there wasn't an impact collision, it was more Phaetonians found themselves in Gaia suddenly. And obviously, the world is big, but that's a lot of different creatures just appearing in places. Obviously, a lot of chaos ensued. It took the entire month of December. Christmas happened, or didn't, depending on how you want to think about it. And eventually, in January of 2020, which is where this year will begin, governments begin to move in motion. Obviously, the members of SWAT and the structure of SWAT was used to guide in this new era with the United Nations, and certain things were enacted this way. One of the things that was kind of used to regulate this new transition was the Phaetonian Registration Act, which was specifically started in the US, UK, and Quebec. And the Phaetonian Registration Act goes, all non-human creatures must be registered with the governments they are located in. Unlicensed use of paranormal, magic, or supernatural abilities is banned. In the U.S. specifically, a new paranormal police force was started, PIDA, the Paranormal Investigations and Defense
Did they have to get their license taken? Did they lose their trademark? Did they lose their copyright?
It's PIDA. So it's actually, some people say PIDA, some people say PIDA.
Pedo.
PIDA. It's an I.
Oh, no. We're off to a great start.
And the Phaetonian Registration Act goes, all Phaetonians are hereby permanent residents of the locals in which they inhabit, and therefore are beholden to their laws. Any unregistered Phaetonian creature not registered within the government via standard or survey will be classified as either beastly or hostile. Beastly are groups of creatures that do not seem to possess the intelligence to respond to these registrations. So think like a weird Phaeton cow versus hostile, which are humanoids or other creatures that are known to have this kind of intelligence to register, but aren't by the deadlines given by certain governments. Creatures are also deemed hostile if they break any of the laws set out by these governments. Both of these outliers are allowed to be openly hunted by the licensed hunters that will come with the Paranormal Normalification Act, which is the second act that is started a little bit later into January to also regulate this new world. So the Paranormal Normalification Act is any and all use of magic with a K, paranormal powers, or any of the like is hereby banned except for use by government officials, peacekeeping agencies, investigative agencies like the FBI, and licensed researchers, explorers, and hunters. Licensing will be handled by the Universal Standard of Culture and Understanding set by the United Nations, i.e. SWAT, because again, SWAT was part of the United Nations. And that licensing begins at the training and the study and the beginning of like licensing procedure begins in March is when that like the first ones are going to be set up. But we're not there yet. Yeah, so PIDA is started. People begin happening there. And so we begin starting out the year. Someone, please roll a d6 for me for humanity.
Jesse, I think you should get us started.
In the first part of this year. Oh boy,
if we're talking humanity, that's got to be Julie.
Are you using the new dice I got you? Let's just be very careful.
Yeah, here you go.
And this is a d6 luck roll, in case anybody is wondering.
That's a 6, my guys.
Let's go!
A 6!
Let's go!
That's great.
Yes!
Surprisingly, even though a certain president of the United States maybe was leading this charge.
Barack Obama's fourth term, surprisingly.
No, it seems the United Nations has a more heavy hand on the way this process works and the ways things are established. At first, in like December, all travel is just shut down. Like everybody is trying to figure out what the hell is going on in their governments and how they're going to operate. But by the beginning of January, things begin to ease up. Travel is allowed. And it seems like life actually kind of begins to become normal again towards the end of January. Obviously, there's still problems with like these more feral type Phaetonians coming to Gaia. There's different very dangerous creatures from Phaeton coming to Gaia. And these things are being dealt with. But it seems as though by the lead of Elfame specifically, the Phaeton populace begins to meld with the human populace. And there are obviously still cultural problems and differences that need to be met. But it seems as though the integration is going well. And so we're going to start with your characters. Let's go ahead and have... Who wants to go first? So
I have one last thing I'd like to kind of request.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So this is kind of because how I don't use Battlemaster and now I have Gwen. I was looking at the Psy Warrior and I don't want to completely get all their powers, but there's like the protective field where I could make like a psychic barrier in front of somebody.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this exactly, but if you want to, you... What's the Psy Warrior?
It's another martial archetype. Like it.
Yeah, I see it. Let me. I'm just gonna look at it real quick, and I'll see if it's feasible for something we could do. Because you don't use Battlemaster a lot.
Because this looks like the psychic powers I have with Gwen.
Perfect. Yes, you can. All right. So you finish cleaning out your mother's house. What do you do after SWAT is disassembled?
So I am very curious about what like in this situation. I feel like the chair members would get kind of job offers from the new organization because they are the ones who know how to run this kind of thing.
Yep, it's the United Nations. And because you rolled that 6 on the they're
doing a mighty fine job of it.
They're doing a great job of it right now. It seems like things are going smoother. It's almost as if SWAT had a contingency for this, even though that makes absolutely no sense. There was some contingency or something that they had a loose idea about. But
I want to be
in the
part
United
of it.
States, huh?
I want to be part of it.
how do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to join the United Nations? Because that would be a lot. But if you want to, how about this? I'll make you an offer.
Okay.
But before I make you that offer, how are you feeling?
Not good, I'll be honest. A lot's happened. It's a lot of pressure to know that I'm the one who kind of split the world into two.
Oh, your spirit avatar, you mean?
Yeah, like I watched that happen, and now I just watched it unhappen.
Exactly.
So that's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm still kind of dealing with the fact that my mom's dead. Because I just kind of pushed that aside for a while. As Julie is very good.
You haven't had time. Do you? Yeah, of course, because combat and also just life that Julie.
I mean, she immediately got into a car chase with the terrors.
Exactly.
And then there's, I think, a bit of working with Gwen. You know, like trying to figure out why did this happen.
Why did the world
Or
thing
like,
happen?
No, like why did Gwen end up in my head? Why did that happen? How can we get her out? How can I free her?
Okay, interesting. Go ahead and make another history check.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. From your conversations with Gwen, she has no idea. She was, as far as she remembers being a child. Like, she has vague memories of being a child at some point, and then she was just in your head.
Does the pip go on the bottom or the top?
It goes on the bottom.
Okay, to 9.
Yes, bottom. 9.
Sorry, 9 plus 1, 10.
10. You don't know a lot about arcana and magic.
I don't.
There's no real... You don't know. You don't know how this happened. She doesn't know how this happened. You're kind of just at a loss. Let me go ahead and give you this offer.
Can I real quick though, can I show her the locket I found that has the photo of my dad and a woman in it?
Yep. I mean, she saw it when you saw it, right?
Yeah. So, like, is that your mom, basically?
She gives, yes.
Okay. Does she recognize the other objects? The needle and the Jesus?
No.
Okay.
She has no idea.
Do your thing.
So, what are you doing Amber-wise? She said that she would like to stay with you. She wouldn't like to necessarily stay alone. Are you guys living together?
Did she say that?
Yes, that was at the end of the last session.
God. Okay. Well, how big is her place?
Much bigger than yours.
Yeah, then I guess I'll go to her.
Okay, cool.
Because it would be weird to have like I have the house.
Yes.
And I don't technically need the apartment, but I can like rent a room from her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You split the rent somewhat. You're packing your apartment. You're kind of getting ready to move all your stuff over to Amber's.
Gwen's helping me. Just throwing that out
Gwen's
there.
helping you. Do be warned, mind you, that the Paranormal Normification Act says that use of magic or mystical abilities is banned. So if somebody were to see you, they could report you to the
Yeah, but Gwen
authorities.
can make herself go away, and no one can see her.
But they could see a floating box.
Okay, she's in the
fair.
bathroom, which is you can't
sure.
see anything really.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just letting you know that. You get a knock at the door.
Gwen, go away.
In your head again.
Okay. Hello?
You
Peephole.
open the
Look
door.
look through the peephole.
Seems to be some sort of military personnel.
I was going to say I answer it with like a gun behind my back. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, you put your gun away.
I have the
that you had before.
Yeah, I have the chain lock still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I open the door. But you can't open it all the way because the chain locks.
Yeah. He kind of
Can I help
takes
you?
it. Hello. Is this he has a clipboard. He says, "Is this the residence of Julie Davenport?"
Yes. Who's asking?
He kind of tips his hat and goes, "Hello, I am Major General Milo. We would like to talk to you about a potential job offer with the Paranormal Investigation and Defense Agency. Obviously, you're very skilled. And could I please come in?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Close the door, unlock the chain, open the door.
He comes in, takes off his hat. You see,
can I get you something to drink? I have.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm fine. I won't be here very long. Just wanted to talk to you and perhaps maybe persuade you into joining our forces. We, first of all, let me introduce myself properly. He goes, I am Major General Malo. I am heading this branch of the Paranormal Investigations and Defense Agency here in the Chicago and northern Midwestern area. And I was wondering if you would be interested in a position. We got your file from the ex-disbanded society thing that was, I guess, somehow shadow running all of this. That part isn't important. What is important is that you have a very, very, very interesting file and a very good rep, both in your ex-military years and your time at this organization.
That's good to hear.
We heard some tale of you organizing a very, I'll put it simply, chaotic group, and you weren't given much aid. I have some vague ideas of how this was running.
The organization as a whole was rather chaotic, but we did what we could. And I'm sorry I'm sorry it wasn't more.
He kind of gives you a grim nod and kind of chuckles, and he says, now I also know you have a past in the military, and I know that you know things are supposed to be run tightly, and we plan on doing that. I would like to offer you a lieutenant position.
I would like that.
Fantastic. We have a brief training and operation phase that I'm sure you will be able to pass with flying colors. And we're also looking for more recruits if you are looking to recruit anyone else for our defense agency. It is obviously a national branch with government benefits. You know the drill.
Do they have to be human?
Yes, unfortunately. We are not looking to acquire any non-humans at the moment. We have a few human hybrid characters that could be an option, but purely non-humans, because of the Phaetonian Registration Act, we are not able to hire them at the moment.
Question, O'Neill. Do I know if Amber already has a job?
Yeah, she did have a job for a little bit. You don't know what she's doing currently. She was part of the kind of transition thing. Now that the transition's over, you really don't know what she's up to.
Okay. I do know somebody that might be worth looking into. Her name is Amber Doherty. She used to be one of the heads of the SWAT. She.
Oh yes, the Doherty. Scorch.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let's see. I don't have her on my list here, but it doesn't mean I can't add her to it.
She was in a leadership position, so she does have those skills.
Fantastic. If she would also like to go through this operation, there's an interview portion. There is a training portion. If she would be interested, we'd love to have her.
I'll mention it to her.
Fantastic. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you have any questions, he gives you a phone number.
Thank you.
Please do not hesitate to call me. I am also doing a little bit of the recruiting for our higher ups here. So the interview portion and the operation portion will be headed by me and my subordinates.
When should I expect to hear from you again?
He goes, we will send you a date and location for you to come and to begin the process of transitioning to our team. Right now, the National Guard is stepping in as the base system for ours. Obviously, you have plenty of military experience, so there will be not, especially because you're starting at a lieutenant position, there will not be as much need for that basic training. But we will go ahead and contact you and send you the information you need.
Understood. Thank you.
He gives you another nod, puts his hat back on as he leaves, and shuts the door. So,
can I?
Yeah.
In my head, I want to talk to Gwen. Any thoughts?
I work is work, I guess. I don't doesn't seem to be anything bad.
I mean, I have a slight distrust of people sometimes. Do you think that was all genuine?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, no. 16.
16. He seemed very genuine. He seemed like,
Fantastic.
I mean, the clothes he was wearing, the way he talked to you, very clear that he is some form of military.
Now, he said I'd be a lieutenant, and my highest rank previously is second lieutenant, right?
Yes.
So that would be a promotion.
Yes, it would be.
He.
So, you go through the process?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recruit Amber?
Yeah, I'm gonna send a text message to say, want to join military, ?
She texts back, what?
Got offer from military, you in?
She says, this is not a conversation to be happening over text.
I call.
She says, you call her. The phone rings for a bit. She says,
Why are you like this?
Julie, what are you joining the military? Are you re-enlisting? Is that what you're doing?
It's the new group called PIDA, the Paranormal.
Oh, right. I mean, it seems like I'm done with the transition. I have an offer to go work for the United Nations, but if I'm going to stay here, I could. It depends.
You got an offer from the UN, though?
I don't want to take it. It's more busy work and oversight. Julie, I'm so tired of this council position, and now that SWAT no longer exists, I don't want to be a part of that world anymore. I was thrust into it at a young age, and I have washed my hands with it.
Well, if you want to go back on the field, I think that's what I'm going to do.
I'm interested. I'll go with it as far as you will. Are you packing up still?
Yeah.
Okay, I will see you when you are ready to bring the boxes. Do you want me to bring the carpet to help, or?
Is the carpet, question for you, Anil, is the carpet still allowed?
Fair point, actually. She does not say that. She goes,
I have my own car.
Yeah, okay. Just let me know and I'll meet you down.
Actually, O'Neill, was my car totaled in the car chase?
Oh, I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, it was totaled. It wasn't totaled. What year was it?
I think 2002.
2000. Oh, it was totaled. The car damage, the door damage, and all that. It wasn't worth repairing.
Okay.
So you have the insurance money from it, but the car
sick.
itself is not legal to drive. I mean, it's not a lot of insurance money. It's a 2002 car. So
Not
the worth
sick.
is degraded, but up to you.
You know what? I will look at how much I do. The car I said Julie has is literally the car I have.
Yeah.
I will look up how much it's worth, and I'll do that for you.
Okay. We don't need to do that now, though. You can just get picked up by Amber's car. And
Does she have a car?
She has enough money to buy a car if she can't use her carpet.
Okay, fine.
She was a council member. She made good money.
Okay. I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah. She picks you up. You guys move over. You begin the process of joining PIDA. There's an interview process. You go over your bona fides. You talk a lot about how you organized and ran your team, how you were eventually graduated. You explain a little bit of the system of how SWAT worked. The person who interviews you is very curious. He goes, they didn't give you information on your...
No.
What the hell, man? The more I hear about this, he keeps on writing. The more I hear
now
about
you
this place,
see why it failed.
It's understandable. That's why we're in this shit now. Should have had competent people running this thing from the beginning. I don't know why they decided to keep this a secret. Anyway, well, this is interesting. I'm sure you will be fine in this. There's a practical part of this as well. Physical training as well as a actual practical exam that you will have to do eventually as well. So keep a lookout for that. We'll keep in contact with you. And they do, of course, because they are a well-oiled machine at this point. This kind of leads into February. Amber also goes through this process, and you both eventually go through training and the basics, how you have to do when you join the military or a military force. And eventually, you get to this practical exam.
What class is Amber?
What do you mean? Like in D&D terms?
Yeah.
Sorcerer.
Because I imagine she can't use her magic anymore, right?
Somewhat. When you get into the PIDA training, you come to learn that you become licensed as a government agent.
Okay,
So
so
under the
if
Paranormal Normification Act, you can then begin using magic items again.
So like, we haven't passed the exam yet, so I imagine we don't have that ability. But would she be allowed to use her magic on the exam?
During the exam, yes, she will be.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like getting you into the practice. It's a government oversaw thing, right? So
Yeah.
the government's doing it, then it's
Also,
fine.
can I
You
point
know how
out
it
the
works.
government would definitely give me a weapon?
That's coming up. Don't worry.
Thank you.
You're not in it yet. You haven't been admitted yet. This is the test. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So as a part of this exam, you are essentially, they have this like cool hologram system. It's kind of similar to the Jeff Bezos like hologram system that you saw before, although obviously the drones aren't attacking you. But you are run through this exercise and you are put under the charge of this captain that is running this exercise as a lieutenant. You are put as a private for the purposes of this exam.
Okay. For the purposes.
You are briefed on this mission you're going on that there is some sort of magical ritual happening in which there is the center perp who is the head of this group, and this cult essentially is trying to do something to disturb the balance of magical forces. You don't know a lot about the limits of this cult and what they can do, but you know that if they succeed in whatever they're trying to do, they could wreak some serious casualties in the area. So your job is to essentially search and destroy. You are given commands by the lieutenant to move in, and as you are moving in the target, you know that the unknowns of their abilities differ. As you begin to close in on this base, a firefight breaks out. It seems very, very realistic. The gun you shoot seems to have real ammunition or something of the sort where it feels like you're actually shooting a gun, and it feels like the targets are shooting at you. But as soon as you see one of your squad mates gets hit, there's a flash of red, and they're just covered in this red paint, essentially. But as you push to the center of this thing, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
I think I'm good at those.
You should be.
Wow. Never mind, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Why did you make a dexterity saving throw?
I had strength saving throw.
Damn.
Or I think,
Yeah, strength and constitution.
yeah.
Yeah. What'd
So
you
that's
roll?
an 11.
An 11.
I could re-roll it, but I don't think I need to.
I would, for the sake, because this isn't one of those things where it's a story thing. It's not necessarily.
But I have to use the re-roll, so.
Well, 11 you can assume doesn't miss. What did you roll?
Nat 20.
Oh boy! So you see one of these things pull off the pin and throw this grenade. You manage to duck out of the way of it, and the rest of your team does because you rolled a natural 20. Everybody
Yeah.
pretty much. You all manage to find cover as this thing explodes, and you guys continue through the firefight as you push through. Take +1 mind.
Yeah.
As you push through to the center, you see what seems to be some ritual happen. You see what appears to be a leader growing this bright shade of something, you can't really tell, and you see other figures glowing black. And as you approach through the fighting, you see one drop, and then the center begins to grow a little bit brighter. And then as you continue to push through, you see another one drop, and the center gets to glow brighter. And there's only about 3 of these people left now. And you begin to move in a tactical position where you get your sights lined up. But just as you line up your sights, the captain tells you to hit the deck. What do?
I hit the deck.
You hit the deck. You get down onto the ground, kind of behind this pillar, and as it does, you see the captain throw a charge, and another private shoots it. And as it hits the ceiling, it falls down, and there's an explosion that happens within the thing, and it's contained because of the ceiling's collapse. And you assume that whatever was underneath these guys and whatever these guys were doing was contained because of this explosion. You still take like pelts of these things, and you would take -1 body if this wasn't an exercise, but because of the way this thing worked, you were able to succeed in this.
Yay.
You pass this exam with flying colors,
Yay.
and you go on to the final portion of this thing. You are told that you will be getting your rank as lieutenant, but there are still some mental and power set things that you have to have checked first.
Okay.
Okay. You go into the first mental examination, and it's very simple. It's not like Rorschach tests, but it's kind of a psychic evaluation. And so they kind of go over all of your things. Do you disclose that you have Gwen, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay. You disclose that you have Gwen. The doctor here, she is Dr. Astroff. She goes, okay, that is very interesting. Of course, we will have to figure out how to make sure that she works within our thing. I will need to...
She can't go too far from me.
That is fine. Please, yes, let's continue this evaluation. As you continue the evaluation, there is an eye exam, there's an ear exam, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
It's a 6.
That's a 6. Okay. You finish the exam. Everything seems normal.
Great.
Hello, this is your DM here. DM obviously stands for Hello, this is your DM here. DM obviously stands for data miner, which is what I am. I'm in those, those crypto fields, mining away, getting my Bitcoin, digging away for Daddy Bezos and the Zuck father. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of You Might Be Wondering How We Got Here. If you like what we do, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at YMBW Podcast. And we also have a TikTok and LinkedIn, I think now. It got really weird while I was away. And also, if you like what we do, you can rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and we will use your name of the show. Another way we can use the name of the show is tweet or Instagram, I guess, about the show using the hashtag YMBW. That's the hashtag symbol YMBW, and we will use your name of the show. We have plenty of characters' names we have pulled for the season 2 already, and we are still going strong. We're still in the first arc, technically, so we're not too far ahead, but I think you guys are really going to like this arc. So just a little bit about this arc. This kind of went on a little bit longer than I thought it would. So this will probably be around 12 episodes of this kind of mini game. Just covering the year and doing some time jumps and whatnot. But I think you guys will really, really like where this ends up. So keep listening and share it with your friends. If you have friends that you're like, it's been 69 nice episodes and I don't know where they can go. Well, the previous episode 0, Context, is a fantastic place to get them onboarded because it pretty much summarizes the entire summary beats that will be in the season 2. And it also, if you're like, hey, it's been, what has it been, 3 months, 4 months at this point? I don't remember anything. Then episode 0, Context, is also great for you to get you just a little refresher on what the arcs and what they did. But yeah, I've been talking for a little long. Again, if you want to support us, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/YMBW podcast, where we got some bonus content for you and some other treats if you want some higher level rewards. And as always, thank you, and tweet at us using hashtag YMBW, and get back into the episode.
So you complete your training because of the way, military life is and the way you kind of have to constrict your body and mind grow, but your spirit, takes a beating from having to do all this stuff. And you've been kind of loosey-goosey with SWAT for so long that you...
Are you going to give me a -1 to spirit here?
So you get a +3 to body and mind. You get a -3 to spirit.
Oh my god, okay.
And that's where you're at.
I feel like, is there a maximum for these values?
So once you hit 10, you get a growth point.
Because I just hit 11 for body.
So you go to your regular body now, so you'd be at 9 now. So you're going to get a lot of body points because your body's already just high.
Yeah.
But you're also, because of the dangers, you might, lose a lot of body. So you're at 9 now with body, and you have a growth point in body, and then mind, I don't know, whatever you're at with mind.
9.
So if you get one more mind, you get a growth point for mind, and then you reset back to normal.
Okay.
But then you have a -3 in spirit.
Yeah, so I have a 4 in spirit right now.
Okay. Yeah. So you finish your training, you finish your interview, and you're given the first lieutenant spot. After you finish all of these things, you talk to Amber, and she goes... She kind of looks dejected as you guys kind of meet up after this session.
What's wrong?
It was stupid. It was I don't know if they gave you the same thing, but they gave me this test where we had to rush in and, it was a search and destroy standard practice, right?
Yeah.
I went in, I did my thing that I do. I went in, I searched and destroyed, and they failed me.
They failed you? What did they say why?
Apparently, I didn't follow the correct orders, but I saw the opportunity to take down the guy, and I took down the guy.
This isn't SWAT. You can't go on your own anymore.
Yeah, but if you have the opportunity to, you should always.
I lower my voice. When you're in the field, you'll be in charge. You just got to get through training.
Apparently, I won't. They offered me the highest they said they could offer me is first private or second private. Second private.
You can be in my squad. I'll let you do
private.
No, but I'll let you do what you want to do.
She kind of pinches the bridge of her nose and
That'll
says,
just be your title, but we'll be partners.
It doesn't make sense. She kind of laughs and says, this is just busy work at this point.
I think if you stick it through, we can come out on the other end, where we want to be.
Make a persuasion check.
Don't leave me, Amber. Don't leave me here alone. Critty fail.
It's a critical fail. You know what I have to do.
I do. She dumps
She goes, me. Hold on a second. You see her shoulder. You see she's kind of been tense this entire time. And she's been tense for a while. You've noticed that. Like, she just has this tension about it. And you've noticed that she always just kind of has this tension. For the first moment in a while, she actually, like, relaxes. And she kind of sighs and she goes...
And she teleports away.
I'm leaving you. No. She goes...
I don't like you
Julie,
anymore. You've been mean to me. You've never been nice. I don't know why we're friends.
No. This is what happened. She goes, Julie, I've been working in this... She kind of just motions to the general field since I've turned 18 and took a council spot.
So have I.
I've never had time to just be me. I don't know, like, go, maybe I might go to college or something. I never went to college. I have the opportunity now to be, I have an opportunity to be normal for once.
You want to go take the SAT?
Maybe. I don't know, Julie. I've never had time to be Amber Doherty. I've always been Amber Scorch. Do you understand?
I guess.
It doesn't mean that we can't, be together still.
But it means I can't talk to you about what I do.
Yes and no. Come on. If you can't tell me what you do, I will be able to read it off you. You're like an open book.
Excuse me?
She's laughing and being sarcastic at this. And she says, yeah, you have the worst poker face I've ever seen.
That's not true.
She chuckles at this point and says, yeah, then let's play poker sometime.
You're on.
At this,
no,
she kind of chuckles.
I want Wes there. He'll tell us who has the best poker face.
All right, bet. I've heard Wes has been kind of busy doing things, and I heard he had some weird accident. I don't know exactly, but
wait, what?
I guess he's been digging his nose into things that I don't know. We'll figure it out. By the way, at this point, it's like February. We're getting close to March at this point.
Okay.
But she says, yeah, we'll ring up Wes. We'll see if we can maybe get in contact with him. I heard he's living at Michael's place, so I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah. Hey, you got it, right, though? You got it? You got the position?
Yeah, but... I mean,
well,
if you're not...
let's go celebrate. No, this is great. This is amazing. This is what you wanted.
But you didn't pass. I don't want to celebrate.
Fuck the me passing. It was just something I was trying out. I could still take this UN job. They're still knocking at my door. But I also just like listen. It's my liberation and your celebration. Let's go. Let's go have drinks on me. Come on, I'll pay.
You don't have a job. I'll pay. I'm
so rich, Julie. I was a council member for 6 years. I'll pay.
What did they pay you?
She does a little side cheek scratch. She says, Don't worry. I don't want to seem bougie or anything. It's
okay.
And I paid some for, Papa's living expenses, but I am going to be fine for a while. Don't forget, I was paid in gold, so.
Right. Okay.
You all go out, have a celebratory dinner. Yeah. You eventually meet your crew. You are assigned. There's a big kind of ceremony for all the lieutenants and second lieutenants and captains that are kind of given out. And there's a big speech that goes on by Milo. Thank you all for coming to this
he's
induction.
a major general, right?
Yes, major general. So it's 2-star.
Okay.
This is a little bit different from like National Guard and all that stuff, the way the systems work. That way I have a little bit of a excuse to be wrong. But he's running this sector of PIDA, essentially. And he goes, thank you all for coming to... let me get my voice in. Voice crack.
La 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 la.
La, 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 la. Thank you all for coming today to this ceremony. Don't worry, we'll have drinks and food in a moment, but I just wanted to congratulate you all on your new positions here at the Paranormal Investigation and Defense Agency. The world has become different. And he kind of smiles and everybody kind of chuckles at that. That's an understatement, obviously. But we are here to retain normalcy. Humans have lived their entire lives without knowing that magic is real, monsters are real. We've been hidden in the dark for too long. And now, here at the Paranormal Investigation and Defense Agency, we all will be the light that guides humanity into this new phase of life. And we're doing a damn good job of it. And everybody kind of cheers and claps and hoops and everything like that. And it says, now,
we're good people.
We'll be assigning you to your squadrons, and lieutenants you'll be given your crews. Let's do the meet and greet and then head on to the festivities, shall we? And everybody kind of does the thing, and then you guys are brought out into this warehouse-sized area, because there's about, 2,000, 3,000 people in this one induction ceremony. Mm-hmm. There was, 100 or so of you, in the lieutenant's, first speech area, but then you are brought out into this bigger area, and you see different people. You're all in uniform at this point, different people, and your uniforms are, this white, essentially, it's a combination of military, combat uniform style and the more arcane armor things. That's what your battle suit is. This is just a standard military uniform that kind of goes off of that.
Okay.
You go and you meet your crew. Your second lieutenant, which you met in the earlier one, his name is Chris Greaves. He's dark-skinned, shaved head. He's about the same height as you, and yeah, he's your second lieutenant. He's a little bit older than you, but that's not going to be a problem. Then you have your Sergeant Thomas Curtis. He's a slightly chunky. He's a little bit he's not fat by any means, but he's a little chunkier. He's shorter than you. Not so much shorter than you, but a little shorter than you. He's glasses. He's your technical operative. Then you have Alice Wynn. She's your first private technical aide, so she's mainly working with Sergeant Curtis. She's medium-sized, around your height, slim Asian woman. Then you have Dan Spitfire Perez. He's your first private. He's your artillery expert. Are you writing these down?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Tell me if I need to go slower or repeat anything. And then you have Gus.
I feel like you should just send me the list of names and what they do.
I will send it to you. Yeah.
So you can just go through it for the audience.
Yes. And then you have Gus. He's your specialty. He's your specialist and your heavy artillery. And Gus is a big man. He's about 7.5 feet tall, massive guy. And you've seen him training with his, in his combat thing. He's given, as, part of his package, he's given this, huge gun. It's, almost 5 feet long, and it does crazy amount of damages. And he's your heavy artillery expert. And you are also issued a special weapon. You are given a sniper rifle.
Thank you, O'Neill.
And here it is. So, for the audience, this sniper rifle is a +2 range attack. It has a D12 of damage. The range is 3,000 feet. You crit on a 19 and 20. You have infrared vision, and it's pump action reload, which means it's just a bonus action to reload. 2-shot.
Okay. Can you remind me, do we still have Elfame's Blessing? That went away,
Yes.
right? We do.
No, you still do. That's a permanent.
What was
aspect
it?
of
I
your
forget.
character. You have the handgun expert, which means essentially you can reload as a bonus action. And,
Wait, I do?
Get some other stuff. Yeah, I'll reset.
I don't have.
It's
I don't have that on my sheet or whatever.
It was something that happened in the middle of it, so you didn't. I don't think you
Okay.
have time to run it. Write
Yeah,
it down.
send me
I'll
that.
send it to you again. It's something. It's a modified crossbow expert, which is the
Nice,
other
okay.
version. So, but yeah, so essentially you kind of get a little bit of that champion where you crit on a 19 and 20, and then also it's a plus. You get plus to the damage and to the actual attack, super long range, and infrared vision, which means night vision, dark vision,
Sick.
when you're using the gun. So you are treated well. Is there anything else you want to do for this first period?
No, I'm good.
Actually, there is one thing. You're settled in now. You're in your office. You guys, so your job is almost similar to the same job you had at SWAT.
Oh
You're still
Lord, I
doing-
wasn't good at that job, O'Neill. Can I have a new one?
You're still like you do, so it's part of that job. You have an office where you do research and you do studies and that kind of thing, so that way you can kind of be ready to handle whatever threat you're doing. You also go on patrol with your unit and kind of handle various areas of Chicago and the suburbs outside of Chicago, that kind of deal. You also obviously do combat if necessary. You haven't had a lot of that right now, but a few skirmishes here and there. You're also like a policing agency, so you arrest Fey folk that are breaking the law, and then they are deemed hostile and either put in jail or going to trial, that kind of deal.
All of the prisoners from SWAT broke out, right?
Yes, that is, yeah.
So do we have like a top 10 most wanted list in the lobby?
You definitely do.
Like in the break
some of
room?
them are given from the, in the break room. Some of them are given from just creatures that SWAT knows are dangerous, and some of them are just kind of folks that have done things and have escaped.
Can I, where is Lacuna on that priority?
Make an investigation. Make a Google check. It's a
Screw
database.
you, O'Neill.
She's not on the top 10, I'll tell you that much.
Screw you for making me doing a tech check. That's a 12.
12?
Actually, wait, let me make sure I don't have... Did I get rid of that -1? I can't remember. I did at some point. It's a 13.
13.
Yeah, look at that world of difference right there.
I mean, it does help a little bit. You find her. She's on the list. She's very low on the list, like in the thousands of interested people. She's not ranked on dangerous people.
Okay.
Some of the more dangerous people look pretty freaking dangerous, and you've heard a couple of them being taken
Is
down.
Wes's mom still on the list of prisoners, or did they...
She is. She's not in the top 10, but she's in the top 20.
Is there any
of
reports
people
of
interest.
her?
I'll let you make a insight check to kind of listen in and just pay attention, or you can make that one will be harder to do, obviously, or you can make a Google check again and try to just see.
I want to do
what
insight.
data. Okay, it's going to be harder. It's going to be a bit harder.
Okay, yeah, I didn't do it. It's a 9.
Yeah, you don't hear anything about the Reaper or this person they claim to hear about. Cool. So
actually, Nelson.
You want to investigate what happened to Nelson?
Yeah.
How are you doing so?
I want to ask my superiors.
Okay.
I'm telling them he was an asset. He was the most talented person I've ever met.
Okay.
Yeah,
for sure.
He can build all sorts of equipment to help us. He builds all sorts of things to help us.
Make a persuasion check to see how far they go into looking for it, and that will say how far you get understanding of it. Because it would take them actual digging and looking into it
it's
for
a
them to
6.
be able to. 6. You ask them about it. You ask them about a person.
Okay,
They
can I
don't
look
really
up his dad?
He is on the interest board.
Where is he on it?
Above the Reaper. 13, 14.
And, okay, I'm going to click. Hold on. The council members who died are Michael, Pawpaw, Beesbos. Then, did the enchantment chair get away?
Seems to have perished.
Presumably dead. Okay.
with Pawpaw.
Okay.
They're presumed to be dead. They were not recovered.
Okay.
They fell into the Outlands, presumed dead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just make a general history or insight check.
Well,
It's very low DC. You need to roll for it, though.
yeah.
Just to find out more information. I will say the conjuration chair is out of the picture right now.
Okay, because you said I could do history, I'm going to do that because I get the +1. So it's a 17.
Oh, yeah. He is in a coma.
Which
Conjuration chair
Conjuration chair.
is in a coma.
That's Ethan?
Yes, Ethan Garcia.
Yeah, that's his name. Can I ask what the other chairs are doing?
Jack.
I want to ask Amber that because she would know.
Okay. Yeah. You ask Amber. She goes, Jack is working with the United Nations as part of the medicine thing. They're doing some initiate like that, and also to understand what parts of necromancy can be used versus not. He's kind of working on the licensing aspect of it. Who else was there?
Sarah?
There was
Sarah?
Sarah is working with there's no other way to put it, the Artificers branch of the United Nations now. They're trying to hunt down various items. You should be hearing something of it eventually coming from PIDA. There's always stuff going on with that. Sarah, Amber, Jack. Is that all of them?
AZ.
Is everybody? Huh?
And Illusion.
Yes.
No one's seen him, but we think that's okay.
And the illusion chair, I haven't heard much from. He kept his identity hidden. Did Cash tell you that it was Mr.?
You know what? Here, let me fix
Mr. AZ? Yeah, he kept his identity secret. I mean,
could you get a message?
I know who it is, but I can't divulge that information.
Could you get a message out to the transmutation chair?
Of course. What would you like to tell her?
Well, Nelson went missing, and he was a brilliant artificer.
Yeah, I'll see what she knows. I'll make sure to,
or at least for her team to keep a lookout.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure
he could help them.
Something happened with Nelson. He was counted in one of the casualties, so I'm sure something happened to him. Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
You did see Nelson go down.
I thought he was just powered down. Oh, Amber, you didn't know he's a robot.
Okay, you know what? You keep on dropping this information on me. Can you at least preface it?
You've never asked me about the dinosaurs. I'm just saying.
Because I honestly, Julie, I don't want to know.
You know, the fun part about the dinosaurs is the others don't remember it. Only I do.
Which makes me think you made it up, but we'll talk about it later. She goes,
you say that, but one day they're going to turn up on our doorstep and you'll...
If you're right, you know what? I owe you something.
Deal.
You get to decide. Sarah won't get back to you until the next quarter. The next event happens.
Okay.
So I will save that for that. You hear, as you're working in your office,
Lieutenant Davenport, could you please report to Major Malot's office, please? Lieutenant Davenport, Major Malot's office.
Okay. I look to the other people in my office who are on my team, right?
Yeah.
I imagine I have, you know how Nick had his, thing on the side of our office?
You essentially have the same.
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay. I look to them. Did one of you guys do something?
Dan goes, don't look at me. His hands are up. Dan is kind of a bit of a hothead, but everybody else kind of glares at Dan, but he's like, I didn't do nothing. Do you report to Major Malot's office?
No, I ditched. No, I go to his office.
You report to Major Malot. You see there's about 4 or 5 other people there. You can tell that they have they have smirks on. And Major Malot is also kind of hiding a bit of a grin. And he goes, Lieutenant Davenport, please, take a seat.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to tell me why there is a statue of you in the middle of suburbia Illinois, telling everyone to bad-mouthing you, essentially, just talking the worst, pardon the French, shit about you. Do you have any idea why that is?
It's me?
Make a history check for me.
Because there's a part of me when you said that, O'Neill, I was like, crap, do you mean Clarissa me?
No, not that.
History check, you said?
Yes.
12.
12? That's fine enough. You remember when you're in that chase with the terrors, you threw a magic bean?
Oh, no! Sir, I have no... Oh.
It's Lieutenant Davenport.
Question, O'Neill, what did I do with those beans? Because I didn't use them all.
You still have a few.
But
I don't remember how many you have. We'd have to go back and count.
Question, would I have had to... Did they ask me to turn in my magical items?
Nope, you have them. If they are your assets, they are your assets. You are now fully licensed to use magic and do all that.
Sir, at some point, I got these magic beans that do something when used. I was in a situation where I had to use one to cause a distraction to get myself out of a really bad spot, and that must have been it.
He waves his hand at you.
I mean, at least it wasn't a giant tree monster that time, or it blew out someone's teeth. It didn't do that, so.
Everybody in the office at this point begins laughing, goes, Lieutenant Davenport, listen, if those beans are dangerous, I would recommend not using them unless you have to. Obviously, you are licensed and it is your prerogative. I will say, inform us when you do, so that way whatever creates could be.
This was before.
Understood.
This was in November.
The statue has been taken care of. It's just it's been
destroyed,
hilarious.
Correct?
It's being dismantled, yes, as we
good.
speak.
What was it saying about me?
You are dismissed. It was everybody begins kind of chuckling to themselves. I don't know what you did to this statue, Lieutenant, but it hates your guts.
I didn't do any. I didn't even know it existed.
I figured.